This episode, we travel the latitudes to get a dolphin experience. We then join internationally renowned long-distance marathon swimmer Tammy Van Wieser as she tours the magical island of Espiritu Santos. For adventure lovers, diving and spearfishing the virgin waters in the Coral Sea may be just the getaway you're looking for. SeaWorld, situated on the Gold Coast in the state of Queensland, is Australia's premier marine park. SeaWorld has a number of unique aspects, which makes it a world leader in its field. Scientific research and education are key components of its operation. Hoops of fire, suction cups placed over dolphins' eyes, and tiny concrete pools typical of the 1970s have given way to new training techniques and priorities. Today, tourists are presented with an educational-based performance that demonstrates the dolphin's natural abilities and prowess. The dolphins still perform tricks, but these performances are based on a dolphin's natural behaviour. For example, dolphins in the wild naturally leap from the water for several reasons. The SeaWorld trainers simply teach the dolphins to leap into the air with various signals. The dolphins themselves can determine the day's performance. Often the morning show differs from the afternoon show, depending on the dolphin's mood. Dolphins have a mind of their own and can surprise unwary trainers. Amity once stole one of the trainer's wallets. She did return the water-sodden goods 3 days later. Amity's natural curiosity, as all dolphins possess, can hinder important research. Another time, the trainers were required to catch and weigh the turtles which share the dolphin's habitat. This was to ensure the turtles' well-being. However, Amity felt the trainers may be harming her turtles and became quite physical in protecting them. The educational show gives people an insight into the dolphin's world by explaining interesting facts. Dolphins use 3 methods in obtaining a view of their surroundings. Leaping allows dolphins to view the general area or escape predators such as sharks and killer whales. Spy hops offer the dolphins a different perspective than a leap. Tail walking is their 3rd method of glimpsing into our world. Dolphins can travel at over 60 kilometres an hour.
Dolphins are fantastic swimmers. They can clock the speeds up to around 60 kilometres per hour.
Tail slapping is a means of communication and may be used to warn the pod or others of impending danger. It's also a display of aggravation. A flip removes parasites from the dolphin's skin. The hard landing, which looks painful, shakes the dolphin free of unwanted pests. It's interesting to note that dolphins often perform flips just for fun. Dolphins can exhale and inhale and replace 90% of their lung capacity in half a second. Their teeth are conical and designed for gripping, not tearing or chewing, and prey is generally eaten whole and head first. Dolphins can emit and receive high-intensity sounds of 150 kHz, which is 10 times our upper limit of hearing. Dolphins are able to hunt in 0 visibility. The dolphin's echolocation system is more advanced than bats and prompts many unanswered questions regarding their ability to communicate and perform ultrasound. SeaWorld is one of Australia's most successful tourist attractions. It has achieved this by developing as close as possible a natural environment for the dolphins and other marine creatures that live in the park. All the pools contain natural flora and fauna and are being filtered using chlorine oxide and ozone systems, which leaves the water residual-free. There is a natural ecosystem in the pools. Feces from the dolphins are eaten by smaller fish and is then broken down by the natural nitrification in the sandbed. It's a great environment for the dolphins and also a great environment for people to swim with the dolphins. The new and popular Dolphin Swim allows visitors to swim with dolphins in their own domain and to appreciate the dolphin's size, power and aquatic abilities. The dolphins enjoy the stimulation and most people seem to be touched by the experience. The tourists are in favour of the dolphin swims and the total educational value that is provided in a visit to SeaWorld. Some people visit the park just to participate in this program. Though a marine park, SeaWorld's constitution is similar to many zoos by supplying an educational and entertaining experience. There is also a strong emphasis on research. So if you're in search of a great dolphin experience, be sure to visit SeaWorld. On this great island discovery, renowned international long-distance swimmer Tammy Van Wieser explores the tropical paradise which is known as Vanuatu. Vanuatu is a large group of mountains that rise steeply from the depths of the Pacific Rings of Fire to form over 300 islands or pinnacles. The 9 active volcanoes which are spread throughout this extended family of islands add to Vanuatu's mystique. Vanuatu is a great land to travel if you're looking for contrast and rich cultural diversity. The coral outcrops reduce the Pacific's force to produce white, pristine beaches. Freshwater blue holes and other waterways beckon the explorer to sample a multitude of vessels. Vanuatu is free of venomous and dangerous land-dwelling creatures. However, some of Vanuatu's spiders can grow to the size of dinner plates. The natural beauty of the lush forest and the natural climate makes walking in paradise a rewarding experience. Coconut crabs are part of the traditional cuisine, and here a guide is showing Tammy how to capture one. After 15 years of growth, they can achieve a 1-metre length span. Unfortunately, their tabletop appeal has endangered their existence. The crabs are nocturnal and the bait, which is coconut, is checked later that evening. Some people find this mysterious land quite eerie by the light of the lantern. The holes and crevices are homes for bats and bird-eating spiders. The guide was able to save this lucky feathered creature. The bait in this instance has produced a juvenile crab. The decline of the crab population is mostly due to tourists wishing to try this delicacy.
Oh, there's a juicy coconut. Oh, wow.
And now, most islanders are protecting the
look.
crab's environment. Previous visitors have not always been drawn to Vanuatu's culture, idyllic settings, and flora and fauna. Christian missionaries have visited Vanuatu since the early 19th century. This dilapidated home of the French High Commissioner reflects a time when Vanuatu was jointly colonised by France and England. The greatest foreign impact on this idyllic island group occurred during 1942, when the American war machine constructed large supply bases to counter Japan's stronghold in the Pacific. By the end of the war, over 500,000 troops and hundreds of thousands of tons of equipment passed through this port of Espiritu Santos. Vanuatu is now experiencing a new invasion. The climate, relaxed pace, and war relics are attracting thousands of overseas visitors. Now in decay, other relics litter the countryside and remain as they were left. Bombs, which were constructed for a more ominous target, rust in paddocks throughout the region. Santo had 5 military airfields, and wrecked aircraft are still being found today. None of these planes were shot down over Vanuatu. They either ran out of fuel or failed to limp home from combat action. These wrecks have become a part of the local landscape, and villagers treat their presence as a part of everyday life. Land ownership laws are generally a tribal concern. Tribal law governs ownership and access is limited. It is essential to use a guide. They can obtain the required permissions before exploring cloud forests or visiting custom villages. Vanuatu's cloud forests are best described as lush tapestries of interwoven fern and vine growth. The greenery is punctuated with many unique and colourful flowers. In fact, Vanuatu has over 150 species of orchid alone. Picturesque waterfalls and streams offer an opportunity to refresh from the heated humidity before trekking deeper into the mystical cloud forest to visit a true custom village. At first, the area seemed deserted. Gradually, as if sensing visitors, the villagers appeared. These people live in a quiet world. There's no need to shout to be heard. On the contrary, good listening and mimicry skills are essential to their survival. Their shyness conceals a powerful confidence. Their lifestyle has remained unchanged for generations, with a continuing commitment to their community and family. Travellers who are fortunate enough to visit a true custom village should respect the privacy and rights of these generous people. Itineraries, accommodation and dive travel can be organised and conducted by Aore Resort. Flights are arranged by Vanuatu's national carrier, Air Vanuatu, which operates from Australia and New Zealand, with connecting flights available from several international airlines. An overnight stay at the Cavite Village Resort allows you time to explore Port Villa's street markets and shop for gifts and duty-free items. A return overnight stay at the luxurious 5-star resort Le Méridien can give you time to reflect on your adventure before heading home. This is Robert Trevally of Blue Water Hunting International. Robert organises exciting scuba diving and spearfishing trips throughout the South Pacific region. We're boarding the boat Canimbla, which is leaving Gladstone, a gateway to the Great Barrier Reef and the Coral Sea. In this instance, Robert has organised this trip for Australian and American blue water hunters. Robert's business is attracting spear fishermen from all around the world. Before departing, a get-together meal is held for the passengers to meet and exchange their previous adventures and some tall tales. This trip will take the American visitors to some of the most pristine waters in the world. The divers will spend their days enjoying remote locations, and Canimbla will travel throughout the night time to new destinations for the divers to explore. Nothing beats life on a large liveaboard. It's perfect for catching up with old friends and meeting new ones, while enjoying impressive sunsets. Early next morning, the hunters prepare their gear, while the skipper positions Canimbla over a spectacular reef. Robert's trips attract highly experienced divers and novices. Both Arnold Piccoli and Andy Ruddock are Australian spearfishing champions and join Robert to provide assistance to the less experienced divers.
A bit of action.
Robert, Andy and Arnold first scout the area to find the best hunting area for the rest of the divers. The Coral Sea is teeming with marine life, and it takes no time for Arnie to capture some great table species, as well as burley in preparation for the next day's blue water hunting. One of the largest reef species a diver can encounter in the Coral Sea is the Maori wrasse. Arnie stalked this 100-pound fish for almost an hour before he was assured of a holding shot. Although not generally targeted by hunters, Maori wrasse are exceptional eating and are extremely difficult to approach. One fillet of this fish fed the 20 people aboard Canimbla. Blue water hunting is an exacting sport. Here, Robert is setting up flashes. These reflect the sunlight and mimic the appearance of a small school of bait fish, which attracts larger predators and the game fish the divers are hunting. A burley trail is also laid and can be time-consuming and requires teamwork. The burley will attract the greatest blue water hunter, the shark. Generally, the sharks are happy with scraps and rarely harass the diver. However, if large species such as tigers or the aggressive white-tip oceanic whaler appear, the divers leave the area. While hunting continues in the presence of sharks, the chance of actually landing the game is dramatically reduced. Successful dives can produce a wide variety of species. This is Andy, who has landed a very difficult species, the tarum. The Americans were also successful in landing much sought-after game, including this large barracuda. They were also successful in landing a great example of dog-toothed tuna. Towards the end of the day, the divers weigh and compare their catch. Some of the divers are very competitive and often run a friendly contest amongst themselves. The Coral Sea is a destination that many world record fish are bagged in the sport of blue water hunting and general fishing. So if you're into fishing, scuba diving or spearfishing, be sure to consider Blue Water Hunting International for your next adventure holiday. Join Latitudes again when we next trek the globe and explore fabulous and exciting holiday destinations. For further information regarding any story on this episode, log on to www.pbtv.com.au. This program is proudly supported by PATA and Always Dive Australia.